Stop scrolling for a second and do this first. Put one hand on your chest, take a slow breath, and ask yourself honestly, has your body changed more in the last 5 years than you've admitted to anyone? If you're over 60 and you still masturbate, this video is not something to casually listen to in the background. You need to hear it, and you need to use it, because what I'm about to share can change how you treat your body starting tonight. I've worked in men's health for over 25 years, and I thought I had heard every question possible. Then one afternoon, a 73-year-old patient looked me straight in the eye and asked, "Doctor, am I weakening myself every time I do it?" What surprised me wasn't the question, it was the fear in his face. This was a strong man, retired veteran, still sharp, still active, yet he believed his own body had become fragile. And I realized thousands of men were carrying that same silent worry. They tell me the same things: less sensation, slower erections, trouble sleeping, feeling drained after, shame they can't explain. So they try random supplements, testosterone boosters, expensive pills, internet tricks, even forcing themselves to stop for months. Most of it fails because they're solving the wrong problem. Here's the truth many men never hear. For older men, the issue is often not masturbation itself. It's circulation, nerve sensitivity, pelvic tension, hormone rhythm, and the way the habit is being done. That changed how I looked at everything. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the biggest mistakes men over 60 make, the warning signs you should never ignore, and the simple habits that can help protect function, confidence, and your health moving forward. Stay with me, because the last one may explain what's been happening to you for years. In tonight's video, I'm going to show you the biggest mistakes older men make with this habit, and the surprising benefits that can happen when it's done the right way. If you'd like to understand the deeper causes behind these changes, I've added extra details in the description below. But before we dive in, I have a quick question for you. How old are you today? I read the comments and I genuinely want to know who is watching. Now, let's begin with the first mistake. 1. Mistake number 1. Most older men make. The first mistake most men over 60 make sounds harmless, but it quietly creates more problems than they realize. They rush. They treat arousal like a race instead of a circulation event. So before anything else, I want you to try something simple tonight. Sit or lie down comfortably, place one hand on your lower stomach, take 5 slow breaths through your nose, and wait 60 seconds before touching yourself at all. It sounds almost too easy, but there is real biology behind it. When a man becomes aroused, the body needs blood vessels to open, nerves to signal properly, and pelvic muscles to relax enough to allow healthy flow. Rushing creates the opposite response. Your breathing becomes shallow, the nervous system shifts into stress mode, muscles tighten, and blood vessels stay narrower than they should. In younger years, the body can often compensate. After 60, when circulation is naturally slower and testosterone may be lower, that compensation becomes harder. This is why many older men say, "I'm interested mentally, but my body doesn't respond the same way." Often the issue is not desire. It is timing. The body needs a little more preparation than it did decades ago. Think of it like starting an older engine on a cold morning. If you force it immediately, it struggles. If you warm it first, it performs far better. Researchers studying relaxation breathing have repeatedly found measurable effects on blood pressure, vascular tone, and stress chemistry. In some trials, slow diaphragmatic breathing improved markers of autonomic balance by more than 20%, meaning the body shifted away from fight or flight and toward recovery mode. Other studies on pelvic floor relaxation programs in older adults showed meaningful improvement in urinary control and pelvic comfort, both directly tied to the same muscle region involved in sexual function. That means this 1-minute pause gives you a dual benefit. First, it may improve blood flow response, helping the body cooperate more naturally. Second, it reduces unnecessary pelvic tension, which can lower discomfort, urgency, and that heavy, tight feeling many men notice but rarely mention. One small habit can support both performance and comfort. Here is the exact method I recommend. Before any stimulation, sit back with your spine supported. Inhale for 4 seconds, let your belly expand, then exhale for 6 seconds through the mouth. Repeat 5 to 10 rounds. Keep your jaw, shoulders, and thighs relaxed, then begin slowly without forcing speed. If you notice yourself tensing, pause and return to the breathing pattern. Do this consistently for 2 weeks, not once. The body responds to repetition. Better circulation habits, calmer nerve signals, and reduced tension build over time the same way stiffness built over time. Many men quit too early because they expect instant change, but the real advantage comes from cumulative practice. Now, that was only the first mistake, because even men who learn to slow down still make a second error that silently weakens desire itself, and most never see it coming. 2. The surprising benefit when it's done the right way. Now let's talk about what almost nobody tells older men. When this habit is done correctly, calmly, and in moderation, one of the biggest benefits is not just pleasure. It is circulation training, and if you are over 60, that matters more than most people realize. Tonight, before bed or in the morning, drink a glass of water, take a short 5-minute walk through the house, then give your body time to warm naturally instead of forcing speed. That simple sequence can make a noticeable difference. The central biological mechanism is nitric oxide. This is the signaling molecule that tells blood vessels to relax and widen, allowing stronger blood flow into tissues. It is the same pathway involved in healthy erectile response, heart health, and vascular flexibility. As men age, nitric oxide production often declines due to inflammation, inactivity, insulin resistance, and reduced endothelial function. In plain language, the body still has the system, but the switch does not turn on as easily. Traditional medicine described this centuries ago in different words. Many systems spoke of stagnation in the lower body, recommending movement, warmth, breathing, and moderation to restore vitality. Modern science would describe much of that as improving circulation, nervous system balance, and pelvic blood flow. Different language, same body. That is why old wisdom sometimes sounds simple but ends up aligning with current physiology. Several studies support this connection. Research on regular sexual activity in older adults has associated it with better reported quality of life, lower stress, and healthier cardiovascular markers. Other vascular studies show that moderate walking programs can improve endothelial function by around 15% to 25% over time, which directly supports nitric oxide signaling. When you combine gentle movement with relaxed arousal rather than rushed tension, you create a better environment for blood flow. This is where synergy matters. The two components are movement and calm stimulation. Movement increases circulation and primes vessels to respond. Calm arousal activates the natural neurovascular pathway without pushing the body into stress mode. Together, they often work better than either one alone. Many men try stimulation without movement or movement without nervous system relaxation and miss the combined effect. Here is the exact protocol. Start with 12 ounces of water, then walk slowly for 5 minutes, ideally after dinner or before bed. Next, sit comfortably and do 6 slow breaths, inhaling 4 seconds and exhaling 6 seconds. Only then begin gently, with no screen stimulation if possible, and keep the pace slow for the first 3 to 5 minutes. If you are new to this approach, do only 10 minutes total the first week so the body can adapt. There is also a risk worth mentioning. Excess frequency, dehydration, sleep deprivation, or treating it like a stress escape can blunt the benefits and leave you feeling drained. The goal is not more. The goal is better. Quality signals help the body. Chaotic signals often do not. Use this method 2 to 3 times weekly for 3 weeks before judging results. Many men notice better morning response, calmer sleep, and improved confidence first. But there is another hidden factor even more powerful than circulation alone, and it lives in the brain, not the body. 3. Mistake number 2 that quietly weakens function. The second mistake many men over 60 make is more damaging than rushing, and it happens long before the bedroom. They stay mildly dehydrated all day, then expect strong circulation on demand at night. If that sounds small, it is not. Start with this today. Drink 16 to 20 ounces of water over 20 minutes in the late afternoon, then another 8 ounces about 1 hour before intimacy unless your doctor has you on fluid restrictions. For many men, this creates a difference faster than another supplement ever will. The main compound here is nitric oxide, but water is what helps the system deliver results. Blood is largely fluid, and when you are underhydrated, circulation becomes less efficient, blood volume can drop, and vessels do not respond as smoothly. Nitric oxide may send the signal to relax arteries, but if the body is running low on fluid, the response can feel weaker. In simple terms, the switch may turn on, but pressure in the pipes is lower. This matters even more after 60 because thirst signals often decline with age. Many older men do not feel thirsty until they are already behind. Some also limit fluids because of nighttime urination, then unknowingly create poorer circulation during the hours they want function the most. It becomes a frustrating cycle. Drink less, perform worse, worry more, then tighten up mentally. Clinical data repeatedly links mild dehydration with reduced physical output and higher fatigue. Studies have shown that as little as 1% to 2% body water loss can reduce cognitive and physical performance, while hydration restoration can improve alertness and endurance within hours. Other vascular research shows plasma volume changes can measurably influence circulation response in the short term. That means what you drank this afternoon may affect how you feel tonight. There is also a dual performance benefit. Better hydration can support blood flow and improve energy, stamina, and mental sharpness. Many men think they need stimulants when they are simply underfueled and underhydrated. Fixing basics often feels surprisingly powerful. Now let me handle a common objection. Doctor, if I drink more water, I'll just urinate all night. Fair point. That is why timing matters more than volume at bedtime. Front-load fluids earlier in the day, taper after dinner, then use only a modest amount 1 hour before intimacy. If you notice more urination at first, that may simply mean your kidneys are adjusting and your body is finally receiving enough fluid again. Here is the exact protocol. Upon waking, drink 16 ounces. Midday, another 16 to 20 ounces. Late afternoon, 16 ounces slowly. 1 hour before intimacy, 8 ounces. Add electrolytes only if approved medically or if you sweat heavily. Avoid chugging large amounts right before sleep. Use this for 2 weeks consistently. Some men notice quicker response and better energy the same evening, while longer-term benefits often include steadier circulation habits and less fatigue. But hydration and blood flow are only half the story because the next hidden mistake has nothing to do with water or vessels at all. It starts in the brain. 4. The second benefit doctors rarely talk about. Now I want to show you a benefit that surprises many men the first time they hear it. Use warmth before intimacy. Yes, warmth. A warm shower, a heating pad on the lower pelvis for a few minutes, or even soaking the feet in warm water can help more than people expect. It sounds almost too simple, maybe even unusual, but there is strong physiology behind it. The main compound involved here is nitric oxide again, but this time the pathway is deeper. Gentle heat encourages blood vessels to relax and can stimulate endothelial cells, the lining of your arteries, to release more nitric oxide. That nitric oxide then activates cyclic GMP, a messenger that tells smooth muscle and vessel walls to loosen. When that happens, blood can move more freely through larger arteries and smaller microvessels. That distinction matters. Big blood flow brings volume. Microcirculation delivers oxygen deep into tissues. Many men over 60 complain of numbness. slower arousal, colder skin, delayed recovery, or a feeling that things wake up too slowly. Sometimes the issue is not only major circulation, it is poor tiny vessel delivery where sensation actually lives. Heat therapy studies have shown meaningful vascular effects. Research on passive heating has found blood flow increases of 20% or more in some regions shortly after warming, while repeated heat exposure programs have demonstrated improvements in endothelial function over time. Other data on thermal therapy has shown measurable gains in peripheral circulation and comfort, especially in older adults with stiffness or reduced blood flow. This gives you a dual advantage. Larger vessels may open more efficiently, while microcirculation helps feed nerves and tissue surfaces that depend on steady oxygen. In practical terms, men often describe better sensitivity, quicker responsiveness, and less of that dull, heavy feeling. That is why warmth has been used in traditional systems for centuries to restore movement where stagnation exists. Here is the exact method I recommend. Start with a warm shower for 5 to 7 minutes or place a warm heating pad over the lower pelvis or upper inner thighs for 3 to 5 minutes. Warm means comfortable, never hot enough to burn. If you are new to this, begin with 2 minutes only and increase gradually over 1 week. Then follow it with slow breathing and relaxed arousal, not rushing. For absorption and effect, timing matters. Use warmth immediately before intimacy, not an hour earlier. The vascular response is strongest when the body is still warm and relaxed. Many men also respond better in the evening when muscles are naturally tighter from sitting all day. A safety note is important if you have diabetic neuropathy, reduced skin sensation, vascular disease, or cannot feel heat well. Be extra cautious and use lower temperatures. Never fall asleep on a heating pad and never apply intense heat directly to sensitive skin. Use this 3 times weekly for 2 weeks and watch for changes in comfort, sensitivity, and response speed. But even warmth and circulation are not the strongest hidden lever. The most powerful factor may be the one men ignore every night, and it begins while you are asleep. 5. Mistake number 3 that causes numbness and reduced sensation. Now we need to talk about a mistake that many men never connect to their symptoms. Use a softer grip and take days off. That may sound strange, even too simple, especially for men who believe stronger stimulation creates stronger results. In reality, repeated excessive pressure can dull response over time, and for men over 60, recovery from that pattern is often slower than they realize. The main compound involved here is dopamine, but not in the way most people think. Dopamine helps drive anticipation, motivation, and sexual interest. When stimulation becomes overly intense, highly repetitive, or paired with constant novelty, the brain can adapt by reducing sensitivity to the same signals. At the same time, local tissues may become irritated, nerves compressed, and blood vessels less responsive because the body expects force rather than natural arousal. That means 2 systems can be affected at once. The brain needs stronger input to feel excited, and the body needs more pressure to feel sensation. This is when men start saying things like, "I can still function, but it feels numb," or "it takes much more than it used to." Sometimes they assume aging is the cause, when the real issue is conditioning. Neuroscience research repeatedly shows reward pathways adapt to repeated high-intensity stimulation, reducing response over time. Separate sensory studies on repeated mechanical pressure demonstrate temporary decreases in nerve sensitivity and slower return to baseline after overstimulation. In older adults, tissue recovery and nerve signaling can already be slower, so what was once a minor habit can become a major problem. There is also a circulation angle most men miss. Excessive pressure can momentarily restrict larger blood flow while also irritating tiny microvessels that feed skin and nerve endings. When that happens often enough, men may notice numbness, delayed arousal, tenderness, slower healing, or a dull, disconnected sensation. It is not always permanent damage, but it is a warning sign. Here is the reset protocol I recommend. For 1 week, reduce intensity by at least 50%. Use lubrication generously, slow the pace, and switch to a lighter touch. Limit sessions to 10 minutes. Then take 1 full rest day between sessions so tissue and nerves can recover. In week 2, continue the lighter style and keep stimulation varied rather than repetitive. Timing and environment matter too. Warm tissue responds better than cold tissue, so a warm shower beforehand can help. Evening often works well because the body is naturally winding down and stress hormones are lower. If you notice temporary tingling or increased awareness during recovery, that can be a sign sensitivity is returning rather than a bad sign. A safety warning here is important. If numbness lasts more than several weeks, if pain appears, if skin changes color, or if sensation sharply drops, speak with a doctor. Conditions like diabetes, vascular disease, spinal nerve issues, or medication side effects can mimic the same symptoms. Many men regain better response simply by changing pressure, frequency, and recovery time, but even restoring sensation is not the strongest lever yet. The next section covers the warning sign that matters most because it may reveal a deeper health issue many men ignore. 6. Serious warning signs that mean you should see a doctor now. Now I'm going to give you advice that may sound unusual in a video like this. Stop trying to fix every symptom at home for 2 weeks and start observing your body like data. Keep a simple note on pain, firmness, morning response, urination, curvature, numbness, and recovery time. That sounds basic, but it is one of the fastest ways to catch a serious problem before it becomes harder to treat. The main compound I want you to understand here is nitric oxide. When nitric oxide signaling falls, blood vessels may not relax normally. Circulation can weaken and tissues may receive less oxygen. Through messengers like cyclic GMP and endothelial signaling, this pathway affects both major arterial inflow and tiny microcirculation that feeds nerves, skin, and healing tissue. When the system struggles, symptoms often appear long before a diagnosis does. That is why erectile changes can sometimes be an early vascular warning, not just a bedroom issue. Men over 60 often blame age, but reduced firmness, slower response, loss of morning erections, or sudden decline can reflect circulation changes, diabetes, medication effects, hormone shifts, or nerve problems. The body is often whispering before it starts shouting. Research has shown erectile dysfunction can precede overt cardiovascular disease by several years in many men, making it an important early marker. Some studies report men with erectile dysfunction have significantly higher future cardiovascular risk, in some analyses more than 40% compared with men without symptoms. Separate data also links diabetes with much higher rates of erectile dysfunction and sensory loss, especially when blood sugar remains uncontrolled. Watch for these warning signs seriously. New curvature, pain during erection, blood in semen, persistent numbness, burning urination, pelvic pain, sores that heal slowly, or a sharp drop in function over weeks rather than years all deserve medical attention. Symptoms involving both major blood flow and microcirculation often show up as coldness, delayed healing, tingling, or reduced sensation. Here is what to do immediately. If symptoms are mild but new, schedule a primary care or urology visit within the next few weeks. If pain is increasing, blood appears, severe swelling develops, or you cannot urinate, seek urgent care sooner. Bring a list of medications, blood pressure numbers if you track them, and the timeline of symptoms. That information can save time and improve diagnosis. There is also a practical optimization step many men miss. Get blood work done in the morning when testosterone testing is usually most informative, and avoid heavy alcohol the night before labs. If you monitor blood pressure at home, take readings at the same time daily for a week. Consistent measurements help more than random ones. A safety warning here is simple. Do not self-prescribe mystery supplements or combine pills without guidance, especially if you use nitrates or heart medications. Some combinations can be dangerous. Many men delay because they feel embarrassed, then regret the delay later. But the strongest tool of all is not a pill, not heat, not hydration, and not even circulation. It is the daily system that rebuilds hormones, nerves, and blood vessels while you sleep. 7. The right way. After 60, a simple protocol. Now I'm going to give you a method that sounds almost too simple to matter. Protect your sleep first, then time intimacy after recovery, not after exhaustion. Most men do the opposite. They stay up late, sit for hours, eat heavy meals, feel drained, then expect strong response from a tired body. After 60, that pattern works against your biology more than most people realize. The main compound here is testosterone, but testosterone does not work alone. It interacts with dopamine for desire, nitric oxide for blood flow, growth hormone for repair, and cortisol, which can block healthy function when it stays elevated. During deeper sleep cycles, especially early night sleep, the body performs much of its hormonal recalibration. That is why poor sleep often shows up first as lower drive, weaker morning response, slower recovery, and reduced confidence. This is not just about libido. Sleep supports both major blood flow and microcirculation. When sleep is poor, blood vessel function can decline, inflammation can rise, and tiny vessels feeding nerves and tissue surfaces may become less efficient. Men then describe numbness, colder skin, delayed healing, brain fog, or needing more stimulation for less response. Research consistently shows sleep restriction can significantly reduce testosterone in a short time. In one well-known study, men sleeping around 5 hours for 1 week experienced daytime testosterone reductions in the range of 10% to 15%. Separate sleep studies have shown endothelial function and insulin sensitivity can worsen rapidly after poor sleep, both closely tied to circulation performance. So here is the protocol I recommend. For the next 14 days, choose a consistent bedtime that allows 7 to 8 hours in bed. Stop large meals 3 hours before sleep, reduce bright screens 1 hour before bed, and keep the room cool and dark. If intimacy is planned, aim earlier in the evening or after a restful morning rather than when you are physically depleted late at night. Now let's make it progressive. Week 1, focus only on sleep timing and light exposure in the morning for 10 minutes outdoors. Week 2, add a 10-minute walk after dinner and gentle stretching before bed. Week 3, reduce alcohol on weekdays and keep caffeine earlier in the day. These layered habits often create stronger results than one dramatic change. There is also an absorption principle people forget. Morning sunlight helps regulate circadian signals, which improves nighttime melatonin rhythm and downstream hormone timing. In simple terms, the body sleeps better at night when it sees real light early in the day. Better sleep then supports the chemistry you want later. A safety note matters here. Loud snoring, waking gasping, severe daytime fatigue, or high blood pressure may point to sleep apnea, which deserves medical evaluation. No supplement can outwork untreated apnea. Many men notice stronger morning response, steadier energy, and calmer mood within 1 to 3 weeks. But even sleep is not the final piece. The strongest move of all is what you choose to do every single day starting today, because habits decide whether these benefits stay or disappear. 8. What you need to do today. If you remember only one thing from this entire video, let it be this. The best method is not another pill, not another late-night trick, and not another expensive supplement. It is a daily vascular habit built around one simple ingredient: beetroot. For men over 60, this may be one of the most practical science-backed tools to support circulation, energy, and confidence starting at the root cause. The unique compound in beetroot is dietary nitrate. That nitrate is converted by friendly bacteria in your mouth into nitrite, then later into nitric oxide inside the body. Think of nitric oxide as a key that unlocks stiff blood vessels. Once opened, blood moves more freely through major arteries and through the tiny microvessels that feed nerves, skin, and delicate tissue where sensation begins. This matters because many men do not only have a performance problem, they often have a flow problem. When circulation drops, tissues may feel colder, slower to respond, less sensitive, and slower to recover. Beetroot helps address the plumbing rather than just masking the symptoms. Research on dietary nitrate has shown impressive results. Some studies found measurable reductions in blood pressure within hours of use, often in the range of 4 to 10 millimeters of mercury, depending on the person and dose. Other exercise studies found improved stamina and oxygen efficiency, with some showing performance gains of 10% to 16% during repeated effort. That means better flow and better energy from the same daily habit. Now compare that to the common mindset of chasing quick fixes. Many medications can be effective when medically appropriate, but they often act for a window of time. Beetroot works differently. It supports the pathway your body already uses. It is more like tuning the engine every day instead of revving it once. Here is the special preparation method. Use roasted or powdered beetroot or 100% beet juice with no added sugar. If using powder, start with 1 teaspoon mixed into 8 ounces of room temperature water for the first week. Then increase to 2 teaspoons if tolerated. If using juice, begin with 4 ounces daily, then move to 8 ounces. Drink it 2 to 3 hours before activity or in the morning for routine support. Avoid antiseptic mouthwash right after taking it because it can reduce the mouth bacteria needed for conversion. For best results, pair it with a 10-minute walk after drinking it. Movement helps circulation use the signal more effectively. Do this daily for 3 to 4 weeks, not once. This is a habit, not a stunt. It is also affordable, easy to find, and simple to prepare. Powder stores well, juice is widely available, and whole beets can be roasted in batches. No complicated system required. And here is the hopeful truth. Your body may be older, but it is still adaptable. Blood vessels can respond. Energy can improve. Confidence can return. No drug, low cost. Root cause focused, backed by real science. That is what I would start with today.